So let's talk about what's called the Pepeke Painu. And these, of course, are so-called sentences in which the main focus of the sentence is what we call a painu, or so-called painu usage. So if you remember, we have those three sets of painu. We have 4 different usages, where we have the so-called VT, which are verb transitives, the hamani. We have VI, which are verb intransitives, the hehele. And of course, we also have the VS, the verb stative, the aano. And we also have a 4th one, which is what's called the EI, which is focusing upon the ia that is used as like a suffix upon a transitive verb. But these are all the various painu, and really the painu can all be used in very similar ways, yeah, these so-called verb usages. Let's take a kind of look at some of the so-called maka painu, yeah, what we call verb markers, the so-called verb markers. And generally, the so-called verb markers are, these are the most basic verb markers. The first we recognize when there is no marker, yeah, like hele, ike, na, ma kau, ikaika. And when there is no so-called verb markers, and again, verb being the word painu, think of the meaning as being something that's generic, something that has to do with habitual, meaning something that happens probably generally all the time. Yeah, like inuwao ikapia, I drink beer. Yeah, it's something that you do perhaps every day, or something you might do all the time. Now, sometimes when you don't have a maka painu, it also derives its meaning from the so-called po'ai abili, or what we call the context. And maybe it's already pre-understood, the time. You might already establish that you're talking about something that happened yesterday, or you're talking about something that's happening right now. And so the so-called verb meaning will come from the so-called context. And really, context is most important in understanding the so-called verb usage. We also have the next one, the word ua, that's commonly placed in front of painu, like ua hele, ua ike, ua nana, ua inu. And when we think about the usage of ua, we first got to determine that there are 2 types of painu. If you remember, we have what we call hana, and we also have what's called hopena. So hana would be the VT and the VI words. Hopena would be the VS and what we call the EI usages. And really, we do this to kind of make it clear to understand. When we think about Hawaiian language, we think about verb usages, painu usages. There's always a sense of one is an action, a hana, and one is a result. Like, for example, some ikaika, nani, kaumaha. And so they have a little slight different usages when we use so-called maka painu with them. So the first is, if we're talking about hana, so right now let's talk about hana. These are actions, yeah, both the VT and VI words. So if you remember, think about an action, what an action is, right? An action can be something that's performed onto an object, a lauka, or an action that doesn't have a so-called lauka. But with the maka painu, we kind of have a sense of the verbs in regards to usage. You might think of it in a simple way of, whether something had been completed, something is ongoing, something was happening, something will be happening, or the fact that something is ongoing right now, perhaps. And we can change the meaning of the so-called painu by using what we call maka painu. The word maka, of course, comes from the word to mark a verb or a verb mark. So the first one we have here, ua painu. Whenever you use ua with an action or a hana, it generally has the meaning of something that has been completed. It's a completed action. Yeah? Ua hana. Somebody performed an action purposely and it has been completed. It's done. Ua noho. Yeah? To have sat down. The action of to sit has already been completed. In other words, to have sat down. When we use ua, again, same meaning, completed, and we we add on a directional and ne here in combination, it's still same meaning of being something that's completed, but generally it has that idea of something that had just recently been completed or had just happened. Yeah. For example, if I said wahele oya, he went. Wahele akune oya, he had just gone. He had recently just gone. The next one, yeah, using the maka painu ke and ne, mark the idea of an action that is happening generally right now, something that is ongoing perhaps, but the idea that that particular action is happening, is going on. Yeah. Ke kune, standing. When am I standing? Right now. Ke kune wao. Ke ʻŌlelo ne oya. Yeah, ke ʻŌlelo ne oya, he or she, of course, is speaking right now. So it's kind of has the idea of the sense of now, but something that's in action. It's actively ongoing at this moment. Now we also have these two words here. Notice the next one coming up, we have two sets of eana. And the first set, and they're really the same. They're really not different. It's just that how we understand their meanings in English, they make it sound like they're really different. But really what the e painuana means is that something is in progress. Something is ongoing. Something is happening. And so generally we can talk about things happening in the past. And I'll put the word past here, or the past, the sense of what's called past progressive. In the past, in progress. And it kind of connects with the I mean of while, or during, or as, something that was happening, ongoing in the past, right? For example, I was walking to school yesterday. We were watching TV. She was telling me a story. Yeah, so these are actions happened in the past, but you're describing them as if they're ongoing right now. And we mark that with the painuano. For example, something like inehine ehiamoyanavao makalumi. Yesterday I was sleeping in the room. Yeah, I had been sleeping in the room while I was sleeping in the room. During the time I was sleeping in the room. Can all be expressed with the e painuano. Now, another common usage of the eana, which is probably the more common, is the idea of explaining an action that will be occurring in the future. So you notice apopo, of course, refers to tomorrow. So if I want to explain that an action will be occurring, will be happening, we express that with the eana also. Yeah, ikala apopo, eheliana wao ikekula. Yeah, I will be going to school. And generally, when you use the eana, it has this kind of meaning. It's not a question of if or, like if is going to go. It's not really. It's not a suggestion. It's not a command. This is basically expressing that this is something that will be occurring. It's almost like, I don't want to say uncertainty, but the expectation that it will be happening. And the last one, which is also related, is just the marker A. A in front of a painu, in the simplest term, is kind of, think of it as being very much the opposite of ua. If ua describes an action that has been completed, ike wau yaoi, I saw you, to e ike wau yaoi, which is the opposite of ua, which is incomplete, which could mean anything in English from I should see you, I would see you, I will see you, in a sense of commitment. And so many times when we have the a in front of a painu, it has multiple meanings in English, everything from a command, like e no ho'oi, to a suggestion, e no ho'oi, to a expectation of the sense of like would, like e no ho'oi, would you sit, to should, shall, anything that shows a commitment, anything that shows could be a very strong command, a suggestion. This is all marked with this a here. But a good way to kind of remember the differences between, again, completed and incompleted really are seeing these two words as being opposites. Yeah. So anytime I want to describe an action that has been completed, ua, anytime I want to describe an action that I expect that should, would, ought to be completed, we use the maka painu e. Okay. So let's go look at some exercises for this and just kind of run through. So let me take another action that maybe something like na, yeah, to watch. Yeah. Nana vau yaoi. Now, we quickly going to see with the different maka painu. If I have no maka painu, nana vau yaoi, it has a sense of I watch you. When do I watch you? It's habitual. It's something I usually do generically. That's what you expect would happen. If I want to express the idea that I watched you, there's an action that has been completed, right? We know I use the maka painu. If I wanted to express the idea that I had just watched you, this is something that completed and just recently completed, perhaps, I would add the directional cause and the maka painu ne. Wanana aku ne vau yaoi. If I wanted to express the idea that I'm watching you right now, it's ongoing, it's happening right now, I'm looking at you, I'm watching you right now. Kenana aku ne vau yaoi. Kenana ne vau yaoi. If I wanted to express the idea that in the past, in the sense of I was watching you, I had been watching you yesterday, that's what I was doing, was happening. Enana na vau yaoi. Enana na vau yaoi. In the same way, if I wanted to express the idea that I will be watching you, this is something that will be occurring, will be happening as an action. Same exact me saying, yeah. Enana na vau yaoi. Enana na vau yaoi. And then last but not least, just the eight was the idea that it hasn't happened. I have not watched you yet, right? It's incomplete. But I would watch you. I should watch you. I commit myself. I shall watch you. Yeah. Enana vau yaoi. And again, depending on my voice intonation, it may change the meaning. For example, if I say, Enana vau yaoi, that's kind of like, oh, I would watch you. Versus something, Enana vau yaoi. Yeah, more committed in sound, which would mean, I commit myself. I should, I shall, I would watch you. Yeah. And so these are the basic maka painu, in a very simple form. Yeah. Kahi, elua, ekoru, eha, elima, eono, ehiku, that you all should know. And you all should practice verbally. You should all understand exactly what all the meanings are. So this, of course, we're specifically talking with the idea of using what we call actions or hana. And so all actions in all the same, I could take another word like honi. Yeah, honi yaoi. And very much the same way. Yeah. Honi vau yaoi. Ua honi vau yaoi. Ua honi aku nei vau yaoi. Ke honi aku nei vau yaoi. E honi ana vau yaoi. E honi ana vau yaoi. And e honi vau yaoi. Those are the 7 uses that we need to understand right now for this class. But these are all different ways to express that action in different so-called time tenses with that. So with that, let's go look at maka painu with hopena. So now let's look at using the maka painu not with hana, but instead with our hopena. And again, hopena has this sense of condition, a status, something has occurred. And the word hopena, like a result of something, right? For example, we're like sick, to be sick. We know to be sick, ma'i is not an action, but in fact, ma'i is a condition, a result. Yeah. You may say, I was sick, I will be sick, I'm going to be sick, I am getting sick, and these are all different ways to express the sense of being sick as a condition in different so-called tenses. Yeah, as a hopena, as a result. So when we think about hopena, very similar to the action, but there are a couple of slight changes in meaning. The first is when we use without any maka painu, for example, ma'iel, I am sick, yeah, ma'iel. And it's the idea that you probably ma'i in a generic sense, you probably ma'i in a usual, habitual sense, or you may get this meaning of ma'i from the context of when I'm talking about a particular issue or particular story. Yeah. So this is when you have no maka painu. When you have ua in front of a word like ma'i, for example, ua ma'iel, there are 2 meanings that we need to pay attention to, and these are 2. The first, anytime you use ua with a hopena, the first has that same meaning like action as something that's in the past. Yeah, ua ma'iau could be explained with the idea that I was sick. Maybe I'm talking about being sick yesterday, or being sick last week, but the idea that you were sick, yeah, is something in the past. But the second, and this is the more important one, is that it also means, and I will just use the English word reach to kind of make it a little clearer, that you have reached that condition. So I may say, I could be sick right now, and I'll be saying, I am sick right now. I have reached that condition of being sick. And that's really the same meaning, ua ma'iau. So when I say ua ma'iau, it has two meanings. I have been sick, and I am sick now. And if you think about it, if this is some kind of gauge, right? And this is feeling well here, and this is to be sick here, like if I am approaching being sick, when I reach whatever the level is that becomes sick, for a hopena, that is ua. So the ua represents that you have fulfilled that condition. You have reached fully that condition, whether in the past or the now. Yeah, so we must remember that you even use the ua for hopena. We're kind of describing that you've reached that condition or state right now also. Okay. When you look at some of the other maka painu, it's pretty standard and similar to what you would find with the actions or the hana. When we use ua and akune, it's the same thing, but it has the meaning of recent, right? So if I say ua ma'i akune wau, that means I had just been sick, maybe yesterday, and also I just came sick, like right now. I mean, it was recently. It just happened in the last maybe 5 minutes. Oh, I felt sick, and now I'm sick. Ua ma'i akune, ua ma'i hone. Kene is the idea that the condition is happening. You are going through the process of getting there. And if you remember that scale, going back to that scale. If this is what it is to be sick here, when with kene, it has a sense that you are approaching, you are in that process of becoming sick. So when you think about that, when you say he ma'ineau doesn't mean I am sick. What it actually means is I am getting sick. I am the process of getting sick. And then when I reach this state here, and then instead of saying kene, of course, now it becomes ua. That you've reached. Whenever you hear ke painu ne, and that painu again is a hopena, meaning it's a VS, or with the EI, it's the idea of it's ongoing, like it's approaching that condition. You are heading that way. Eana, same thing, the past progressive. Yeah. That in the past, it's kind of like the while. Yeah. So if I say e ma'ianao inehine, e ma'ianao inehine would be I was in the process of getting sick yesterday. It's a condition, a state of being that was occurring, happening. In the same way, also just like e ma'iana, into the future. Yeah. I will become sick. This is a condition or status that will be happening in the future. E ma'ianao ikalapopo. Yeah, I'm not sick yet. I'll be approaching that process of getting sick tomorrow. And of course, in very much the same way, the word e in front of a hopena has that same kind of meaning of you should get sick. E ma'iau, I would get sick. E ma'iau. And I mean, it's almost like a commitment to being sick also. Like, you know, it's like perhaps you kind of know for sure that that's what will occur in ma'iau. And so, you know, when we come to just like the maka painu for the hana or the actions, they're very much the same way. The things to pay attention to, of course, is the sense of ua when it reaches that particular condition, and also specifically the kene when it's happening on that process to get there. And so these are the maka painu for hopena and a hopena painu that we've been looking at. With that, on to the next one.